Hello guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a super long time, but happy new year because I didn't see any of you guys. Well, I never see you guys, but that's okay. Today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog. I finally will read Kingdom of the Wicked. So last week or a couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks, I received this fairy loot box, and in the box there was this beautifully made mug that had illustration, or the art was from Kingdom of the Wicked. It was a fandom item. I have never wanted to read that book because it was really hyped up in the beginning, and I do not tend to read books that are really hyped up because I fear that they will not live up to that hype. But again, just like what happened with Love Hypothesis, I read it. It was because of the hype. I liked it, so I'm going to give this book a opportunity. My expectations are really low because I feel like it's going to be just like a copy and paste version of like any other fantasy book where the girl is like the chosen one and she's super different like every other young adult book, and she's going to like have to either get married, get kidnapped, or fall in love with like this super evil guy. That's what I think. Those are my expectations, but I can be mistaken. Like every time that I have been mistaken, I'm human, so I do make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to be reading that book, and I think that this reading vlog is going to be really lax. I'm just going to tell you what I think while I'm reading the book, and then at the end I think maybe I must have a lot of questions because I tend to overanalyze fantasy books. But again, let's see how it goes. Again, my expectations are not that high, they're really low, but I do think that maybe I will like it. I don't know. It has 3 books. Like, it is a trilogy, and the books are really expensive. Not the normal books, but the special editions. For example, Fairy Loot has done special editions for the 3 books. I think the last one is like Kingdom of the Feared or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I do not know anything about the book. I'm going into this book completely blind. I did get the audiobook, and because people told me that the audiobook is a little bit nice, like you can hear sometimes it goes more to the atmospheric side, so I'm going to listen to the audiobook as well. That way I can finish it faster. I am working full-time now, and I'm always looking at the computer, so my eyes are tired all the time, and I don't know, it's been a little bit difficult for me to concentrate on reading one book a day like I used to do, just because my eyes hurt a lot. But I'm not using glasses because I look super ugly in glasses. So I'm going to read the book. Let's see what, I don't know. Let's see how it goes, and I will keep you posted. That's it.
With you, I can be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly up through the dreams where the skies are so clear. With you, I wanna stay with you. With you, I love the way that you love me today. Let's run up through the fields where the sun shines and heals. With you, I wanna stay with you.
Okay guys, so I have been reading for a little while, and I kind of find the prologue a little bit confusing. By the way, this review is going to be filled with spoilers, so if you do not want to if you don't want any spoilers, please don't watch this video or stop right now, because I'm going to start talking about what I read and analyzing the things that I read. Again, if you don't mind spoilers, I don't think that actually there is no one else who hasn't read the book at this point, because it is a really well-known book. But in any case, just to let you know, just in case you're like me and you read books way after the hype is over, or like whenever you want to, not when everyone else is reading it, which is nothing, there is nothing wrong with it. So I have my instruments of reading, I will say. I'm not going to note this book. I only know the books that I read once and that I really liked, and I go back like a creepy person and look for the parts that I really liked, and then I do annotations. So I'm not going to annotate this book yet. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I do have my college ruled, I think it's called notepad, where I put, this is not typically where I'm going to put, or where I put my notes for when I'm reading, but I do not know where I put the notebook that I usually put them to in, so I'm going to be using this one, and then after I'm going to copy it to the notebook that I usually use. So I do have a couple of notes here already. I think the beginning of the book is moving a little bit slow. I am not particularly in love with that. I like for books to, for things to happen quickly. That's why one of the main things why I hate why I hate slow burn romance is because where the two get to the point where like the tension is supposed to be over, it never actually lives up to the expectations that I have. So I do not care at all for slow burn romance. It has to be very well done. There are a couple of books that I find really interesting, that I really like. They're slow burn romance, but typically I am not one to be reading those kind of books. But still, the prologue was a little bit confusing for me. I think that it was because I don't know anything about the book, but again, it's not supposed to be that way. Even if I go into a book not knowing what it is about or what's going to happen, because of course I haven't read the book, the beginning is not supposed to be that confusing. But after I finished reading the first and second chapter, I kind of like get it now. So like I'm okay. I'm not stressing yet. I do find the characters very interesting, but at the same time not. For me, Amelia is going to be one of this. I'm a different kind of girl, and like something bad is gonna happen to me, and it's going to change the way that I act, and that's it. For me, I think that Victoria would have been a very interesting character if she was alive. Yes, I just got to the part in which it is the author let us know that Victoria is indeed dead, and that was a very nice thing to do. Like she told us, or is it our author or she? Well, the author told us that one of the two was going to die because of the secrets that they were keeping from each other. Now, I do not know exactly what secrets Amelia is keeping. I don't think she's keeping any kind of secrets, because she seems like a boring character, like one of those girls that do nothing, like they just cook because she loves cooking. So I think that she's kind of like a boring character, and I do find myself revolving more about the idea of Victoria as the main character, or not just the main character, but a more interesting character. I don't know. I think that Amelia is going to have to actually develop a lot as a character for me to care about her at all. I do care about Nona. What's her name? Oh, Nona Maria. I love Nona Maria. She seems like a very, I wouldn't say problematic, but very live character. I would hate for that character to go away. But I think that with fantasy books, I have grown accustomed to the idea that every single character that I like or love is going to somehow die soon. So I'm not getting very much obsessed with Nona's character, just in case. So I'm going to keep reading, and I am going to keep you posted again. I am not still decided if I really like this book or not. I'm just reading. So let's go. Okay, friends, so let's talk for a second. I've been reading the book, and oh boy, do I have issues. First, the book is really easy to read. Like, I am on I don't remember which page I am on. Doesn't matter. So I'm here right now, page 127, and I have read this like in almost nothing. So the book is very easy to read. I feel like the writing style is very easy to read. Also, I do like, of course, that the sentences are complete sentences and they're not dumb. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, author. I have taken notes again. What? Okay, this book is really confusing, and it gives you information that you should feel like it's necessary, but at the same time you stay confused for a little bit, and sometimes it doesn't answer the questions that the book makes, if that makes sense. So I tend to become crazy with the books. I tend to overthink a lot. I tend to create my own theories of what's going to happen. First, what the fuck? Who's the devil? Like, this bitch has been mentioned so many times, and what? Oh, I can even. I have no words. I have so many questions. Okay, so first, Wrath. I love him. I'm sorry. He seems like that toxic boyfriend that stays with you forever, but he's not really toxic. I cannot explain it. I just like him. So Wrath, yay, one of my main characters. But also, if the Wicked are supposed to be the really bad guys of this story, and they're also supposed to be really smart and whatever, and of course they are supposed to be ancient, so they are more knowledgeable than Emilia, of course. Why is Wrath protecting her? And also, why is he kind of like his lapdog? And why in all that is holy I don't know. There is something going on that I don't like. And I'm not talking about the book. Like, I kind of like the book a little bit. So I'm not being super extra difficult about reviewing this book. One of the first things that I do is that if I like the book is already good because I like it and I want to keep reading it if I don't like it since the beginning, or I give it like 5 chapters. If after those 5 chapters the book really do not interest me, I will stop reading and I will DNF a book I do not care. There is plenty books to read, and your mental health is really important. Before, I didn't use or didn't want to DNF any books because I felt like, oh, I am ungrateful because I bought this book or someone gave me this book and I'm not reading it. I am grateful to the author. That's not the case at all. Like, any book that doesn't give you something that you really appreciate, you can stop reading it right away. It has happened, okay? And you can do it. You're free to do it. So let's talk about Antonio. I hate him. I don't like him. And there is this thing going on where people are killing witches. And does no one think that someone or a specific organization that is meant to hate witches, that they drown, witches that they burn, witches that they try to extend the witches, is behind all of this killing, not just like the Weekend or the Malvagi or just people. Like, there is a whole organization, and I'm talking about the monastery, that hates witches. Like, the whole idea, their whole thinking is like, God is good, witches are bad, we have to kill witches, and no one is like inspecting. Or like, Emilia is so close with Antonio, like in love with, well, she's not in love with Antonio, she was infatuated with Antonio in the beginning, but still, that's dumb. He's a bad person, I don't like him, and I don't like his character, and I know that he's the bad guy somehow. I don't know, or maybe the organization, or that is just me like projecting my hate for all of the organizations that hate things that are different, but still, I don't care. So Victoria, in fact, like I said, she's a very interesting character. I think that she has a lot of secrets. I do not comprehend how the author could have killed someone or a character that had so much to give. She would be so amazing as the main character. But again, Emilia is kind of like getting better. She is doing things that I would not have expected her to do. So I'm going to keep reading. I feel like I didn't say anything in this part of the video. I'm just like thinking about my theories and all of that. So I'm going to see you in a little while. I think that maybe I will finish this book today. I'm going to listen to the audiobook for a while because my eyes hurt. And with the audiobook, I tend to finish the books faster, like I said. So yeah, maybe I finish this today. So let's go. See you later. Okay, hello again. So, what the fuck? Okay, so here's something weird going on with the devil, and they mention it a lot. Of course, I did like the part that was actually in the beginning. I'm sorry, I'm confused. In the beginning, when they told us that the necklaces that the twins had, they were supposed to be like the horns of Hades. I loved that, by the way. But they do mention the devil a lot, and the devil with wrath. I do love Envy, by the way. His character is so well done. He's so smart. He's a strategist, and I love that. I love a very bad character that has to. He doesn't have to apologize for being bad, and he's not even bad. He's just looking after himself. When it comes to Pride, I hate him. And what the hell was that visit to Lost? That was so well done. I love how vulnerable Emilia was at that point. It was like, okay, I just want to fuck him, and that's it. That was funny. That was the funny part of the book. I was right. Nona, again, I forget her name. What the hell? Nona Maria, I think it is. Nona Maria. Something bad did happen to her. I knew it. I didn't care about it, of course, because again, I prepared myself for the idea that all the characters that I liked, they were going to either die or die or die. So I didn't care about it that much. Emilia seems like a crazy person sometimes. She's like not that smart. And she's not a good witch either. She basically just like promised herself in marriage to Wrath for all eternity. So like, what the hell? Like, you don't actually know how to do magic, and she hasn't done anything with magic. By the way, talking about, I was right, like always. Antonio, he's a bitch, and everyone like Dominico, like brother Dominico, he's also a bitch too. Like when Claudia got like scary, kind of scary. I don't know if this everyone does it, but when I'm reading, I kind of create this movie in my mind where I see everything happening like in color and everything with subtitles, by the way, because English is my second language, and I could see them being the bad guy, and it was so creepy at that moment. They were just ready to got the bitch. Like Claudia was kind of like as I wouldn't say like a schizophrenic person because I don't like to talk about how schizophrenic people are supposed to behave, but she was definitely not completely in this reality. She was affected by something, and they weren't asking like, "Are you okay? Are you do you need help?" Like whatever. They were like, "Is she possessed? Is she this? Is she does?" They're the bad guys. I am completely sure that they're the bad guys. They are the ones that are killing witches, and all of that monastery should be burned. And that's my final say. Another thing that I'm saying is that every time that they mention, oh, so Envy is talking to Emilia. By the way, Vampiro, that was so cool. I really like that part when they introduced a Vampiro, and it was so funny the way that they did. Or is it just me? I have issues, right? Yeah, I do. But Envy is talking to Emilia right now, and he is kind of creating or putting the seed of doubt in Emilia. For I think Envy wants her to um, betray Wrath, because Wrath is not supposed to be able to lie to Emilia just because of the incantation that she said. It was an incantation. It was when she called him to this world. She's like his anchor, so he's not able to lie to her or something like that. That's something that I'm a little bit confused about. But there is this story in the book where the devil is supposed to like be looking for something or for a soul or something like that, and that's the only way that he can be free. Or I'm confused. So this book is a little bit confusing, I'm telling you. They do give you sometimes information and you do not receive the answer, which really bothers me. And that is one of the things that I think fantasy books should work towards giving you the answer once you have a question, right? Like you're writing a story, you're creating an answer, you're making the reader ask themselves questions. Like you have to think that when a reader is reading your book, your story, they're going to have questions, and you somehow, I do not care if it's right away or after like the 17th chapter, you have to answer those questions because hello, we suffer. But then again, I have to remember that this series is a 3-book series, a trilogy, so I basically may have to read the other 2 books to actually get some freaking answers. For example, here I come with my notes. What the fuck is going on with Wrath? There are some things that I don't understand. He's supposed to be very smart. He's supposed to be a warrior. He's supposed to be an Asian creature that has lived for many years. So he's not supposed to be dumb or stupid. But still, he's acting as if Emilia has the hang over him. And he's acting like a lapdog. And he's working for the devil, even he doesn't have to. Like, if the devil has a curse and cannot do anything bad to you, why would you help him? what the fuck is going on with you as a character, as a demon or whatever, that you have to make more work for yourself? Like, what? I do know that now that I'm reading this conversation, Envy tells Amelia that once, wait, it says, "You're lying." I'm not reading anything more like back, so this is enough. "You're lying. Am I? I thought you knew better. Why do you think he, the mighty demon of war, cares about safely escorting a witch to the underworld? Because he wants to break the devil's curse? Why? Why would he want to break the devil's curse?" As I said it, I heard the doubt creeping in. And that's something that Envy does very, very gracefully. Like, he only asked. He didn't do anything else. Like, come on. I have a secret pet. I don't like it when he calls her pet. I don't like that. Once he has collected his final soul, the course won't matter to him. To him who? He will have full power and the ability to walk this realm freely without an anchor. He can either choose to stay in the seven circles and rule his royal house, or he can roam the earth until the end of days. Choice is powerful, and we princes do love our power. I do have one thing to say. I do love the healthy banter between Brad and Emilia. I like them as a couple. I think that it is very interesting how their characters could develop in the next two books, just thanks to their kind of relationship. It is not like enemies to lover. I think it was more like, I thought he killed my sister and now he's helping me, and almost like friend I wanna fuck. And then until now, like, I don't trust him completely thanks to Envy, but still not my enemy. So I don't see this as an enemies to lover. I have to finish reading the book. Hello. I finished this thing. What? Okay, so these are my notes. Atmospheric. Yes, it was a little bit. Descriptive, but not info dumping. Yes, it didn't info dump. It gave a lot of information. It didn't give more information than the information that was needed, but still didn't answer like a lot of questions. So there is a difference between not doing info dumping and giving me all of the facts. I kept going. Surprisingly fun. Yes, it was. I liked a lot of the characters. Envy was one of my favorite. I do not care what everyone thinks. I don't care if in the next two books he becomes a really bad bitch. I like him. I really enjoy reading Envy. I really enjoy reading Nona Maria. I think those are the two characters that I enjoyed the most. I felt very, very frustrated every time that I read what Emilia was to Emilia. Oh my God, why do I keep saying Amelia? So Amelia is the person, or the name of the main character of a novel that I'm trying to write. So I get confused. So Emilia, she's dumb. She's dumb sometimes. Like, just, she has very many issues that I have problems with. I do not understand how she behaves or what exactly she wants. Like, I know that she wants to take revenge on whoever killed her sister. What? I don't know. I have a problem with Emilia. I think that she's not a very well developed character. I think she's boring. I think that she's not main character material, but still I do like the book. I have a very big issue with Emilia. I don't know why. Quick read. Yes, it was a very quick read. The writing style is really easy to read. I read this book today. Of course, I did have the help of Audible because Audible is amazing, and my eyes hurt, and I'm a little bit lazy these days, and I needed that in order to complete the book as fast as I could because I'm stressing with this book. A healthy banter. Like I said, Emilia and Brad, they do work as a, I don't want to say couple because they're not together, but they do work. The characters together, they work. Separately, I kind of like Brad, but still I have issues with how powerful he's supposed to be, but still he does whatever the fuck Emilia wants. And then Emilia, like I said, she's boring. That's my main issue. She's boring. Oh, the character's development is very well done, except for Emilia. I do not know if the author is waiting for the second book to give, or, well, you know what? Let me take some things back. So after, let's see. Emilia was like a really nice girl, not doing anything more than cooking. She was a really good person. Victoria, I think that she had the secret life. Of course, we know that she has the secret. She had the secret life. So I think her character was more fun in that aspect. But still, let's take in consideration that after Emilia found out that her sister was dead, and she wanted to see, or she wanted to find the person who did it. Of course, she thought that it was Brad in the beginning, but he wasn't, or yeah, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. I'm sorry, I'm sick. She kept investigating. So I think at that point, in the beginning of the book, she was more of a passive character. I do not enjoy passive characters. They seem boring. Maybe that's why I keep calling her boring. But after that, she did have a couple of adventures. She did confront a lot of things that she never believed that she was going to be able to do. For example, summoning a demon, promising marriage. That was the funniest part, seriously. Like, I really enjoyed that part. And the funniest part of that is that, I don't know if this is like an actually normal response to what happened, but since the beginning, he knew what the words that she said meant, and he decided to keep it, and I would not be bothered either telling a witch that is supposed to know what the fuck she's doing that she didn't actually do what she was supposed to do because she was dumb and she got into something without knowing what to do, and hello, those are your consequences. And I don't know what she should be like angry about it. Like, Brad seems like a very hard person. The whole book is not really very well explained, and I think that it was maybe because from the beginning it was supposed to be like a 3-series book, so the author wanted to keep that sense of suspense. I'm not in suspense. I have questions that they need to be answered. So let's go into the spoilers with more detail. So the first thing that I do is that when I'm reviewing a book, I am looking for the first thing that I like. So if I like the book, if I give you the opportunity to keep reading the book after the first 5 chapters, I'm going to give your book more than 2 stars because I kept reading the book. And 2 stars is kind of like really kind of good. Like, for me to give 5 points or 5 stars to a book has to be like a really good book that I really enjoy reading, and I wouldn't mind reading it 2, 3, 4 times again. So at this point, I really like this book. Let's talk about Antonio. That bitch was crazy. I knew since the beginning, or I knew from the beginning. Why do I keep saying since? I knew from the beginning that he was a bad person. And that excuse that he gave Emilia to like kill witches, Oh, so you made me tell you that I was in love with you, so like now I have to kill every witch that there is. He's a toxic person. He's a bad person. He's a toxic person. That was his whole excuse because the witches did nothing to him, and that's the only thing. She used one spell to ask him a question, and just because of that, every witch in that city deserves to die. No, that's not the way the things work, okay? If you're going to kill someone, like, look for a better excuse, but not because you had to answer if you liked someone or not. So that let us know that Victoria was trying to summon the devil to this world, and then after that, Antonio's, when at last Emilia finds out that Antonio is the one that is like killing all of these witches, he tells her to summon Pride, and who appears if none other than Rant, to get Emilia to sign off on her soul. So who the fuck is Rant? Because his name is sure not to be Wrath. Like, he is not. Like, who are you? Who what? And isn't Emilia, like, this is a rule with all fantasy romance or whatever. The main character is supposed to marry like the bad guy. So are you marrying Wrath or Pride or? I'm going to read the second book, but this book left me so confused. I'm going to give it 3.5 because I really enjoyed reading the book. It was funny. There were funny characters. It was a fun time. It was a very easy read. I do recommend that if you like fantasy. It is atmospheric. I did enjoy the part that they mentioned everything in Italian. I don't care. I really enjoyed that. My favorite character is Envy. I'm sorry. Emilia seems a little bit boring, but that's okay. I'm sure she's gonna get better in the next in the next two books. I still do not understand who Wrath is. I'm sure that he's not Wrath. I'm going to read the second book, and I hope that there is like some twist. I did enjoy the twist at the end. I kind of knew that Antonio was a bad guy, if not Antonio per se, like the whole organization. I said whore. The whole organization, like the whole monastery. I don't care. I did enjoy Nana Maria. I liked how it looks like this is just like the introduction of the whole story. In that part, I felt like even if I was reading quickly the book and I was getting to the end of the book, the story wasn't really going forward. More like they were introducing the story to me, but it makes sense because this is the first book in a trilogy. I liked it. I think 3.5 is good because I had a fun time. The plot, it makes sense, but there are a lot of questions that I don't have the answer for, but at least I didn't receive any info dumping. There wasn't a episode there wasn't a chapter that I said this is just info dumping. So 3.5 I think is really good. I'm going to read the second book and let you know. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. You can leave it in the comments below. If you want to have an idea what I'm going to read next, is going to be the second part of this book or the second book of this trilogy. And of course, you can go to my Amazon wish list and see what I'm reading. So see you soon. See you in the next video. Goodbye.